Okay, so let's go ahead and make this print playlist work. But before we do that, so we have two templates, and one of the things we can do before we get much further is refactor these templates so that basically we have default. We have a template default. And the way you can do that in Jinja 2 is by something called template inheritance. And basically, um, what you do is you create a regular template and then you mark certain portions of that template as being a named block. And then each portion that has a named block you can override by specifying the value for that block inside of a template that inherits from the default template. And anything that you don't specify, if you leave it out entirely, you just get the default value. So basically, you plug in more specific versions to replace more general versions. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with this home page here. And we'll look at this title. That's going to be different for each template. So I'm going to mark this as a block in the default. And then the rest of this stuff, all of this stuff is boilerplate up to there. And then everything up to this H1 content, this header content. And then header ends here. And then you have the actual template body. And then I'm also going to add a header at the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this homepage.html and I'm going to paste another copy into templates and I'm going to call it default.html. And then everywhere where I just said that I wanted to have a block, I'm going to go ahead and do block, and then the name of the block is going to be, this is going to be title. And then at the end of the block, I'm going to put end block. So it's just like for and end for. And then here, I'm going to have the header. And then end the header. And then starting here, I'm going to have block content. Oops, I left out my percent sign here. Body would have worked too, but header is part of the body, so I'm going to stick with content for that. So everything up to here is going to be the body block, or I'm sorry, content block. And then I'm going to add another one for the footer. And that's going to have a horizontal rule. And then I will put a fair use notice. So let me think what I want to have. I want to have, actually I'll put this, yeah. Let's look up a Creative Commons fair use license. I think a CC4 is what I want. Probably not deed. So share, adapt, attribution, no additional restrictions. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this thing here. CC by 4.0 deed. So my attribution is going to be CC BY 4.0 deed. I'll say covered under. And then I'll anchor href equals that. And then end anchor. And then contact mark at PCCCIS with any questions. So if you don't know who I am, then that's fine, but anybody who sees this should, so you know where to contact me. All right, so there's a footer to start with anyway, and then I'm going to end the block. And then now I have boilerplate that I can reuse in all of my templates. And so let's start with the home page. So now instead of the home page having all that stuff, what we're going to do instead is basically everything up to here is going to be part of the default template. So we're going to start by extends default.html, and that's at top level just like this is, so I don't need to specify the root. And then so here's going to be my block title. So that overrides the title block in the default. And then this thing here is going to override the header block in the default. And then this thing here, all of this stuff, is the content up to there. And then I'm not going to override the footer. I'm just going to use the default for that. Okay, so let me try rerunning this and we'll see how it looks. So the home page should look the same, except that there should be a footer now. So let's go back here and reload. Good. So it looks the same, except there's a footer now, and the link works. But now let's refactor the print playlists to use the same default template. So here again, I'm going to extend default.html, and then this is going to be block header and end block. And this is easier when you have a couple of them and you can just start by copying an existing one. And then this is going to be, I'm sorry, that was block title. This is block header. So block title, block header, and then block content. And then we're going to use the default footer for this one as well. Okay, and then click on the link. Oh, got a server error there. Encountered unknown tag extend. I think it's extends. There we go. Okay, and now we can do our print playlist in the next video.